Yeah, let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. Our last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
It's Halloween already?
It's Halloween, man. It's always Halloween. What's going on, man? How you doing, Jay? Doing good?
Well, how you doing? Where's Savage?
This is Savage. I turned into a werewolf on a good night when there's dynamite and if there's some good wrestling.
That's how you were feeling? You put your mask on because it was a good night?
No, I didn't put it. This isn't a mask. I turned into a beast, man. I turned into a real savage. Can you hear me good?
I hear you.
Okay. So what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good. Unfortunately,
That's not a crooked, bro.
I hate Boston, so please
Wow.
don't talk about Boston tonight.
Oh, because they kicked the Knicks' ass?
Yeah, freaking
Okay.
Porzingis buried us, but whatever.
Listen, that's okay. It's totally cool because honestly, look, I'm wearing my Giants shirt. Okay, I support my team no matter what.
Rick and Morty.
No matter what, I support the Giants, man. So Dynamite, we got to get into it. Jay, before we get into Dynamite, all right, let's get into Rampage. Did you watch Rampage last week?
I did not, man. You got to give me the full cover down.
Do you know anything about Mystico?
Hell no, and I don't want to know.
Do you know
But he's
anything
the
about
winner.
Rocky Romero?
Oh, we all know who Rocky Romero is.
Okay. What are your thoughts about like this being a opening match for Rampage?
It's an indie match. I mean, why is it on Rampage? Is this where it's come down to that former Ring of Honor stars got to come and fight and have TV time? It's a silly match. I mean, would you watch this match live?
Yeah, I would. I would watch it live if I was just there. If I already bought tickets, you know what I'm saying? Like if I already
That's
bought
like you're
tickets.
saying you want to
Now
watch.
what
that.
happened is, see, we're talking about Rampage. I
He's
turned
back.
back into a human now because Rampage wasn't as good as Dynamite, and we're gonna get into Dynamite tonight. Dynamite was actually surprisingly good, but Jay, Rampage, you want to know about it? This was actually a pretty good opening match. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know where he's from or who he's worked for before. I don't even know. I don't know. But he was impressive, and so was Rocky Romero. But Mystico picks up his big win on his debut on Rampage. Okay, here's some shots from the match, some fast-paced action, great spots, great speed. He's trying to take off the mask again, which I know is a pet peeve of one of our former co-hosts, David. He hated that stuff when someone would try to take off the mask. But, of course, he wouldn't allow that to happen. Rocky Romero did hang tight, but Mystico ended up, being the stronger opponent, getting the big win on his debut. We also had John Silver defeating Kip Sabian and Brother Zay. This match was also not bad. Big win there for Mr. Silver. Little Johnny over there, killing it on Rampage, getting his win. He's like owning Rampage, basically. What do you think about what they're doing with Brother Zay?
I'm really glad I missed this show. To be honest, the way you're putting the slides together is just oh my god.
So you're not a fan of the Rampage? You're not a fan of the wrestling on Friday night?
I'm not a fan of this guy. We'll talk about him later, but I'm definitely not a fan.
How about Little Johnny? He's impressive. You can't say he's not impressive in the ring.
He will be in TNA. He'll be very impressive. I mean, they're looking forward for a guy like that, 5'5", can't wrestle for shit.
Sky Blue taking the L to Ruby Soho. And this is kind of surprising to me because Sky Blue's been on kind of a big winning streak, and they already dumped on Ruby Soho recently. Now all of a sudden she's getting back on her winning ways, which earned her a title shot. But I don't even get that. Why are you going to give her another title shot again? She just had one.
How can you give somebody a title shot when they can't read? I don't understand. She can't read a cue card. She can't read a promo. She can't read nothing. It's there on YouTube, folks. Look it up. I don't make it up.
This was actually a good match. Probably the match of the night for Rampage. It actually was a good match. You can't take away from the girls' wrestling abilities. Ruby can wrestle. Sky Blue has improved significantly. There's Saraya. Apparently, they're still a duo.
Saraya looks really fine. Not injured. I don't know what the hell she's doing.
Not injured. I don't know what she's doing, but she's back there. She's supporting her girl.
Makes no sense.
Sky Blue's got a new look to her, too, after Julia Hart had sprayed her with that mist now. Now she comes out with all the tears. Jay, you're not a fan of the makeup?
I think it's just the writing, but we'll talk about it later.
Why? We talk about it right now. You're not a fan of this?
No.
This is the last time you're going to see Sky Blue, I think, until Collision in a couple of seconds here. And Claudio and Wheeler Yuta were in action, and they won their tag team match.
Why are they in action?
Look at this. Got some local talent right there. Nothing special. And here's your dream match for AEW Collision. And Bryan Danielson would go on to win this supposed dream match, according to Tony Khan. And Jay, I'll just start off by asking you, did you think this was a dream match?
First of all, no, Savage. The fact that Tony Khan builds a lot of matches, dream matches, just takes the feeling of it out of it. And what happened in this match. It was a very technical, hard.
Well, listen, there's a lot to break down in this match, though. The match itself was good. Is it a dream match? No, I don't know. It was a very good match. It's a match that could main event a card, main event a show. No doubt about it.
You can't do a dream match when you build too many matches, dream matches. It just doesn't happen. And you can't make it a dream match, Savage, and I think you could vouch for this. You can't make it a dream match if you don't time it right. There was poor execution. This match wasn't built right. I think we only got a few days of it being announced. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. This could have been a box office match on a paper.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. This could have been saved for a pay-per-view with a proper storyline. I don't know why they just want to make this guy lose when you're supposed to be building him up to be like a main event player. It probably to give him a manager, even though I don't think he needs one, but anyway, Malachi Black makes his way into this match. The lights go off. He comes back. He's in there, just knocks out Bryan Danielson. And House of Black's been doing this a lot. They're making a lot of enemies. They're going after a lot of targets, mostly targeting key players. The Guns go on to defeat the Outrunners. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen.
I don't even know who the Outrunners are.
Outrunners are like a tag team that are up there. They're like they wrestled for NWA. They've wrestled for Impact. Rampage. I mean, they're around.
Okay.
They're good.
I don't know. I personally don't know.
They're good, but their job right now is to make the Guns.
But I will say this, Savage: the Guns are starting to be on my top list of most improved of 2020.
What's going on, John Gilcher? We'll get to that soon. If Danielson is really hurt, stick around to find out on the end of Dynamite tonight. Which honestly, tonight was a fire Dynamite. I don't care if you didn't like it or not. For me, it was fire Dynamite. I'll tell you why it was a fire Dynamite. It really was. Because I had a lot going on during this Dynamite. Trust me.
I thought we were on Collision first.
We are. And you're going to see Sky Blue on Collision. Okay, she's working 2 shows in a row, and here she is pinning Hollywood Haley J. And this was the moment of the night for Collision for me. Seeing Hollywood Haley J. Or I keep calling her Hollywood. I think she'll be Hollywood one day, but for now she's Hollywood Haley J. She did get in a couple of strikes, more than I even thought she was going to, but ultimately ended up getting pinned by the Code Blue. So you didn't see Collision. You didn't see this. Terrible.
I seen that match. I was just waiting for you to
match?
finish. I was waiting for you to finish so I could cut in. Because I didn't want to take the momentum out of you. You seem like a real Sky Blue fan, so is it my shoot? How do I say this nicely? Here we go. Listen, there's really nothing going on in the AEW women's division, period. Storyline, whatever you want to call it. This is proof right here, folks. The only storyline that AEW has for the women, let's check this out. Julia Hart sprayed Willow and she sprayed Sky Blue, right? That is the only storyline going on in AEW women's roster division. Now think about it for a second, because I'm really spitting facts here. That is the only storyline going. There is not one single woman wrestler to basically challenge for the championship. Has anybody noticed that no woman has been built up? I mean, you could say Sky Blue's built up because she's been on TV, she's been on Rampage, she's been on Collision, she's been on Dynamite. Yes, the company sees something in her. I don't see it, Savage. The finisher wasn't smooth in this match, and she wasn't smooth at all. All she got is some facial and some attitude. Big deal, whoopie-doo. But there's really nobody in the whole division, in the whole roster, in the whole company going for the championship. We're not even going to build someone to go to the championship. We're just going to go random people in, whatever.
You want me to tell you why?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Because we have big-time wrestlers in the females division who aren't getting that push right now, but they will soon. It will take some time, but eventually the women's division will be looking like Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Ruby Soho, and hopefully Holly.
You know why?
Haley.
You know why I disagree with you? We don't have time. We have less than a month for full gear, and there's not one woman that has stepped up or been built for the title.
Touche. You're right. And the end of the world could come tomorrow with a nuke, and
why should I be
it's all
interested?
over. I don't know, but anyway, we got to enjoy the moment. Right now, you're saying they have no women. I disagree with you. I think they have Chris Statlander. They have Tony Storm.
What storyline?
They have Athena.
They
have Athena, who's killing it on Ring of Honor.
Okay, but my point is, they have no storyline.
Athena should be on the main roster. She should be going after Sheeta.
She should stay with her only. She's fine.
Oh boy,
I'm telling you, there's not one woman that's having a storyline.
Anyway, it was nice to see Hollywood Haley J, and we get Eddie Kingston versus Jeff Jarrett in a Memphis Street fight, and it certainly was. And Eddie Kingston, they were building him up like a god in this match because it took everything. They had to throw everything at this guy: the ketchup, the mustard, the popcorn. They had to throw guitar shots at him, lethal injection after lethal injection. They did everything that they could to kill this guy and make sure he lost. And good God, they accomplished that. Eddie Kingston, he tried his best to survive. He tried his best to survive and not go down and not get killed. He tried. Jay, he really did. He tried his butt off. What did you think about this match? Did you see it?
I think the book is bad. I know Eddie Kingston's a badass and he could fight anybody, but let's face it, there's 5 people against 1. Let's be real. Is that really a good storyline to write? Absolutely not. This match was taking place, it's Jarrett's hometown, I guess, so I guess we have to have the stupid match. The spots were awful, Savage. I wasn't feeling it. I honestly, I think Eddie Kingston's promo was better than this, to be honest, that he cut later on.
Maybe, perhaps, but I still think Eddie Kingston delivered a hell of a performance, and even having 5 people kicking his ass, you're right, it's not the greatest story, but it's Eddie Kingston's story.
Into it.
He walks into it. They're trying to build him up as somebody who doesn't give a crap. He's somebody from New York City, and people from New York City don't give a crap. Kind of like me, Jay. I would walk into this. I would walk into this.
As Michael said, where are all the people that Eddie had their back? Where are they at to help him?
They're bums. They're bums like a lot of my friends.
So Santana or
I'll call up 100 people. Jay, if you go through your phone right now and you call everybody up in your phone, how many people are actually going to pick up the phone right now out of your whole phone book? Tell me the truth. 2?
I'm going to say 9, 10. Just because of the time.
9, 10?
Easter time.
I call bull. I dare you. Call someone right now. Call someone right now. I want to see if they pick up the phone. Go to your number 1. I bet you your number 1 doesn't pick up their phone right now.
But you're my number 1.
You know how to make somebody feel special. Eddie Kingston, anyway. You want to make him feel special, and that's what Tony Khan's been doing. I wonder if this is going to lead to him becoming an AEW world champion one day. That's got to be the conversation when we talk about Eddie Kingston's career from now on, because he's been in the game long enough where he's made impressions. He's got fans. He's got pops. He's over on the East Coast. He's over on New York. Imagine an AEW championship reign one day for him that starts in New York City.
No.
Never?
No, never.
Never. Okay.
Never.
All right, well, I get there because we got a lot to cover. Miro takes on Action Andretti, and this one, of course, Lana making her presence known. By the way, 2 quick facts. Number 1, Jeff Jarrett has wrestled more matches than the majority of the men's roster. Okay, the biggest stars in the company, he's wrestled more matches than MJF, Edge, Christian, Sting, Darby Allin. Even he's wrestled more matches than like the majority of the roster. So give credit to Jeff Jarrett, who's killing it in AEW regardless, picking up the big win against Eddie Kingston with the help from his friends, of course. Miro, Action Andretti, his wife is there. By the way, his wife, if she decides to do OnlyFans, Jay, Miro will divorce her. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I heard about it.
Michael's in the house. What's going on, Michael? We're all the people that Eddie helped. Yeah, you're right. Jay was bringing that up. He just asked the same question, and they're nowhere because they're bums, man.
Michael brought it up. I'm bringing it up to everybody.
Travis, what's going on? You're in the house. He calls bull. Travis calls bull too, man. All right. And John Gilcher agrees with you. He says Jay is right. Can't happen. 5 dream matches a year.
Finally.
Some smart people in the chat. We got some smart people in the Savage Kingdom, and the Savage Kingdom is growing, ladies and gentlemen. Every single week, every single day, I am putting in the work in the shadows, and I'm thinking about putting in some work this weekend, Jay. I've taken a big-ass break, man. I wish I could convince you to come with me to the ECW Arena this weekend, Saturday, so I can talk to so many people who need to be talked to. They need to understand who and what I am. They don't get it. A lot of people are confused, Jay. I think I need to go and wake them up, including people like Tantalizing Tony, who's going to be in the ECW Arena on Sunday. And I owe Tony a few words. He's got a big mouth. Runs his mouth on his stupid YouTube channel. Tantalizing Tony. I'm the YouTube champion. You ain't the champion of shit, Tony.
You hear that, Tony?
Savage showed up 2 years ago, and he got 1 million views in 10% of the time it took you to get to 1 million. I already have more subscribers than all your friends and fellow buddies because I am the fastest rising YouTube sensation this planet has ever seen, and Jay's coming along for the ride. He is going to be the most famous co-host in the history of professional wrestling podcasts, because it is going to be known soon enough that when you want to know about pro wrestling, you listen to Wrestling with Savage. Even Toto Watam went on record on that little podcast he listens in shitty Jersey, and he went on and told everybody that Savage may be loud, he may be this, but he knows what he's talking about. And you know what? I got to say, Jay knows what he's talking about too, like 99% of the time. Let's get back to Lana. Here's the match in one picture. Here's Miro versus Andretti. All right, Action Andretti, who, by the way, made his debut in AEW, beating Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Savage. It was actually a competitive match. I didn't expect that. I do like the Lana character because it kind of gets me guessing on what she's gonna do. Because she was kind of supporting Miro, but then she was supporting kind of against him. So
don't worry, Travis. You'll be back one day, but right now the kingdom needs a lot of work. I got to build that foundation. That foundation has to be stronger than life itself, man. So you let me do my thing, and when the time's right, you'll have your own show on the Savage Wrestling Network.
So where we at now? FTR?
Yeah, Dax Hardwood, Cash Wheeler were in the ring, ready to face Bad Thad Brown and Darian Daxton. Lights went out when they came back on. Malachi Black was standing in the ring. The lights dropped the second time they came back to reveal Brody King and Buddy Matthews standing next to him. They attacked FTR and left the ring. So here we are again with House of Black, just making a statement, basically. I mean, not much to talk about there. I'm assuming
once again with the light ball, which we saw earlier.
That's the trademark.
And we see it again.
But now we got a main event, man. It's your boy Big Bill and Ricky Starks, the AEW Tag Team
champions of the world.
My boy.
And there he is. Look at little Ricky. Oh, little Ricky. Oh, little Ricky. What are you doing, little Ricky? Anyway, this match was what it was. Malachi Black, House of Black, they're getting involved yet again. They're making their presence. Basically, this was Saturday night, House of Black. They took over Collision, and they made it known that this is going to be our show. We're coming after everybody. We're coming after the titles. And Michael, good question. We're going to get into Ryback later tonight because Chris Jericho may have said something that maybe has something to do with that. Anyway, House of Black over here doing big things, man. Ricky Starks, Big Bill, they win their match, but House of Black making it known that AEW Collision is on notice. FTR come out, make the save, but then for some reason, Ricky's the one getting abused. There he is, just getting knocked out by everybody, basically. Look at this. Jesus. They're kicking his ass. But that's not all, folks. We're not done, because after Collision, we had Battle of the Belts. Did you watch Battle of the Belts, Jay? No,
Never
not at all.
been.
Well, Orange Cassidy picks up his win against John Silver in what was their typical kind of match that you've probably seen before on Rampage, Dark Elevation, or whatever. Samoa Joe goes on to absolutely squash Tony Nese. I mean, literally, just squash him. And this, I mean, as much as I love Samoa Joe, I'd love to know what the concept is here behind the booking. You have a guy like Tony Nese who's been in the locker room for a long time, has done nothing but help elevate every single person that he's worked with while looking better than them physically in every single way. He's from Long Island, just like MJF and Chris Statlander. I mean, the story writes itself. But are we using that? Are we doing Long Island rivalries yet? No! God forbid Tony Nese and MJF freaking burned the building down with a banger of a match, Jay. Why would anybody in the world want to see a 60-minute match between those two?
Oh, no, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you don't want to see it because this is what you see. This is what you think of Tony Nese. You think he's a bum because they presented him like a bum who hangs out with Mark Sterling, gets absolutely no wins. Mark Sterling can't even keep his clients in AEW, okay? Yeah, I said it, Creative Pro. Mark Sterling, graduate from CAP. You couldn't even keep Jade Cargill in AEW. You have no business representing an athlete. A premier athlete like Tony Nese. See, Savage, if Savage was the manager of Tony Nese, Jay, I would turn Tony Nese into the ultimate fighting machine who would go into every match with confidence and execution and a game plan, and we would get the job done. We would win matches, and we would reign terror amongst the roster of All Elite Wrestling. But no, let's put him with a mark like smart Mark Sterling, who couldn't hold a candle to Savage. God, pisses me off.
Yeah, man.
Samoa Joe, nonetheless, impressive, dominant, squashed him. Chris Statlander defeats Willow Nightingale. This was the match of the night. You're saying they don't have women wrestlers? Well, I'm telling you they do. Statlander's one of them, and even Willow Nightingale.
What do you mean? They don't use them. There's no storyline for Chris Statlander. That's my whole point. There's no storylines for any woman. Not even Britt Baker. Not even Ruby Soho. I can keep going. There's only two. Willow and Sky Blue. Now, I want everybody to think that and say, yes, Jay, you're right. Because that's the only storyline going in the women's division. Not even the champ has a storyline. I don't make it up. It's right there. Right there for your eyes. We saw it. We saw it tonight.
Well, Willow Nightingale, she's a very nice girl, very good wrestler. Chris Statlander, though, on another level right now. Sky Blue making it known.
Who's that? Who is that, everybody?
That's it's Sky Blue. She's back yet again.
Because she's the only one having the storyline with Willow.
And here we go, the main event of Battle of the Belts. We have the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Luke. And here's another thing I want to get into right now because I'm going to show you the slides from this match. This was a match that was a joke, and the reason why is a joke.
Please don't say
the reason the match is a joke is because Cool Hand Luke, Daniel Garcia, they've been putting in work for a long time, and I'm glad to show this picture
most of all, because if you really take a good look at this picture, you can literally see the disgust in Daniel Garcia's face, and he should be disgusted because Daniel Garcia is a premier athlete. He's a premier wrestler. We've seen it. We've seen him main event Dynamite. We've seen him put bangers on with the likes of Bryan Danielson and pretty much the entire roster. And here he is getting losses with two ass clowns, as Jericho would probably call them. And they can't even beat the Acclaimed, who's just pretty much a sideshow attraction at this point.
I guess you got it, man. I honestly have no opinion on these guys whatsoever.
I hope that look of disgust in Daniel Garcia's face is one that says, I need to get out of here. I need to be on my own. I'm going to take my dancing act. I'm going to take it and make it a solo thing because it ain't working anymore.
He's not going to go nowhere. I mean,
anywhere, huh?
He has no charisma. This is not a charisma, folks. I'm sorry. It's not. It's a dance move. I just did it for you.
We're going to talk about it, Travis. I don't think he did, but we'll talk about it.
He's not injured. Oh, my God.
He's not injured, guys. Stop being marks. Anyway, AEW Dynamite tonight, hard body. All right? And the reason why it was hard body is because it was a stacked card. You have legendary Rob Van Dam tagging with Hook to take on John Silver, Alex Reynolds. We have the Young Bucks in action, and they're teaming up with their boy Hangman Adam Page, a.k.a. The Elite, taking on the Hardys and Brother Zay. We're going to hear from Chris Jericho. We're going to see a little bit of Swerve Strickland. We're going to watch Ruby Soho versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. Orange Cassidy teaming up with like the most famous Japanese wrestler of all time, Okada, taking on Bryan Danielson, Claudio, and MJF. Juice Robinson opening up the show. That was a surprise. And of course, we have a gift for Sting from Tony Khan. But was it really a gift? Stick around to find out. We start off the night with MJF, okay? Your scumbag, the people's scumbag, coming out to the ring to take on Juice Robinson for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. And I knew he was gonna win. It's MJF. But I didn't know he was going to be a sick bastard and literally drink the blood of Juice. Jay, this was a fun match. You could see how good MJF is. Every strike with meaning, intent, making it look good, hard hitting. What did you think of tonight's opening match?
I thought a lot of things, Savage. I'm going to first start off with there was a lot of star power, and that's what you need to do is to start off Dynamite. You need to have a lot of star power. There was a lot going on, Savage. I don't know if you're going to break this to parts, so I'm asking you that. Are you? Or should I just talk about this match first?
You can talk about whatever you want.
All right, so let me say this. The match is okay, Savage. I had no problem with the match. I could have lived without the blood because I didn't like the spot of how he even busted himself open. He didn't really sell that pole to me, but that's just me. Then you see Kenny Omega and MJF with the stare down. I thought that was awesome, but you know what, Savage? Then you saw Jay White. Then you see the guns. You're seeing a lot of things into play, which I don't like. I think it's just overbooking and you're putting a lot of stuff in front of us. I get it. We're on a 2-hour time limit and all that, but I could live with some of the stuff. First of all, I could live with the commentary. I can't stand the commentary. I'm sorry. Tony Schiavone to me doesn't sell me anything, not even a match. And Savage, I mean, we're getting this Omega MJF because let's face it, the collision ratings are not there, and we need a prayer, and I think we're gonna get a prayer. Will I see a DQ on Saturday? I think we will, but I think there really needs a match to save that show, Savage. So I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, I know there's a lot of Jay White fans out there watching right now. Whoever idea of him to hold the mic and actually say words, they need to stop. It's really hurting my ears, hard to hear. I don't understand it. And even when I understand it, it's just boring to me because there's nothing that stands out. So please stop giving the guy the mic.
Okay, well, MJF over here putting on a banger, in my opinion, on the first match of the night. Gets a big win. He's winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring 5 years in a row. He does this beautiful kangaroo kick. Kind of confused about it. But here's Jay White. Jay White's talking some trash. They're going to get in there, beat the crap out of him real quick. The guns are. And then, of course, Roddy Strong is going to come down with his boys, and they're going to get rocked. MJF disses the hell out of them. Calls Strong an absolute bum, basically. His other guys are like mids. They're losers. He shits on Maxwell. He blocks that scissor attempt. He doesn't want nothing to do with him, doesn't want to team with him because MJF is agreed to a match against Jay Lethal and the Guns, but he's going to need teammates now. So who's going to be MJF's teammates? And then Kenny Omega, like Jay said, Kenny Omega. And this picture right here is worth 10,000 words because this is the match you have been waiting for. If you're an AEW wrestling fan, you have wanted and waited to see MJF versus Kenny Omega. And ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday at Collision in Connecticut, I am tempted to go. So many choices. Do I stay home? Do I go to Philadelphia? Do I go to Connecticut? I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do, Jay. But this is great to see, man.
I just feel like the DQ's gonna come. It's gonna kill it, but like I said, Collision.
Probably.
Collision
But I can also see MJF picking up a clean win by some kind of dirty method, if that makes sense. It's a clean when he's a scumbag, but when he's the people's scumbag, a dirty win is still a clean win because you're the people's scumbag. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm hyped for it. This is a reason to stay home on a Saturday night. But the problem is, they're putting on this match on Halloween Saturday night. You know, probably the biggest party night of the year. And I just don't see it getting the ratings that it's going to deserve. This is a pay-per-view match.
but they need a Savage. The ratings have been pretty
You're
bad.
right. You're
Competition
you
on
are
Savage.
not lying. But I have a question for you. Did Wardlow need to start talking?
No, but I really like this video package, Savage. I
It was
thought
a good video package.
It explained Wardlow's mission and why he wants to go after MJF. So I actually love this. I don't have a problem with it. Believe it or not.
It was the best video package they've ever done for him.
Because they explained to us. They explained to us the motive. I mean, I would have liked it 2 weeks ago, but we got it here. So I like it.
And Michael, if you're still watching, Jericho's probably the greatest cruiserweight of all time. I can't disagree with that. Back in the day, he killed it in ECW and WCW. Now let's get into Rob Van Dam and Hook. And of course, they're going to win their big match. Hook always impressive with the limited move set he does. Rob Van Dam finds a way to get the Van Daminator in here. And when you're watching this match, Jay, I don't care what you say. I mean, the dude still looks like it's 1997. He's out there leapfrogging from the floor to the top rope, hitting the frog splash, doing Van Daminators, doing rolling thunders, taking bumps. He's 50-something years old, and find me another 50-year-old that looks as good as he does.
Sting. There you go.
He doesn't move as good as Rob
50.
does. He doesn't move as good as Rob does.
More than 50.
All right, so you weren't a fan of that match.
No, actually, I thought the match was really, really crap. And it just shows that Hook can't throw a punch. And that Van Daminator looked like crap. But Savage, I know you give me a lot of heat because I say a lot of SCTE diagnosis on Robbie D, which he denied, by the way. But check it out. In the match, who was selling more, Hook or RVD? Simple. Hook.
Well, here's the
Hook
thing,
was the
Jake.
seller throughout the whole match. You know why, Savage? He cannot take bumps. And you didn't see him take a bump. The only bump he took was when he did that rolling thunder.
It's a bump. It's still a bump. The frog splash is a
and
front
that frog
bump.
splash was not a
The
five-star
frog
frog
splash
splash. That was a
is
two-star
front
frog
bump.
splash.
It was
He
a
can't
5-star.
jump.
Don't
He can't.
disrespect
He's
Rob Van
limited.
Dam.
He's
Don't
limited.
do it.
He didn't take one bump. Show
You're
me the
limited.
one bump he took. Show me
The
the one
rolling
bump.
thunder and the frog splash. Hell of a bump.
The frog splash is not even hitting his head.
It's a front bump. He could break his
The
kneecap.
rolling thunder. That's it. It just hit his head. He took no
Come on.
bumps.
Rob Van Dam looking great.
Don't
They're
tell me
picking
don't
up the
throw
win.
punches, please.
Now let's
Please.
actually you want to bitch about something? I'll give you something to bitch about. 2 weeks in a row,
Tony
we have
Khan.
timeless
Some
Tony
commentary.
Storm, and they put it in picture
Thank
in
you.
picture.
Two-star.
You can
Two-star.
watch the full video on Facebook, but they don't even go out of their way to tell you that. Hey, make sure you go watch the full video on our social media. No. What are we doing here, Jay? What kind of nonsense is this? Are they doing it on purpose to piss people off? How is this affecting you as a fan? Like, do you even want to see it when you miss it, or do you even care?
I always watch everything, man. I mean, but I guess this is not, I guess what I would say random. This is what they're doing. And you know what, Savage? I was actually watching that picture-to-picture, even though I freaking hate it.
All right,
But,
we got to school Travis. Look at the dumb comment he just made. Yes, Travis. I understand this, but when you never leave your house,
Halloween.
when you never leave your house to go to a party, you wouldn't know about these things. Halloween, okay, they do the parties around the world.
Oh, they care about Tony Storm.
All the big clubs, all the bars. The last Saturday of Halloween is the main primary Halloween party night. In places like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, and another 500 cities around the world, on Halloween, it's chaos. It is chaos at the bars, at the clubs. You gotta pay to get in, Jay. Don't you remember?
I do.
Good
Used to be like $20, $25.
If Travis came to a club in the city on Halloween for Saturday night, he would have a heart attack at what he would see. He would have a heart attack.
I had a heart attack watching the show.
You're right. A lot of losers go to bars. But anyway, Toni Storm's not a loser. I think she's a winner. I think that she's doing the best work of her career. The problem is we can't see it.
That's the point. That's what they're doing.
They're just trying to piss people off, maybe get them on her side so that when she finally gets on TV, maybe she gets a huge pop because they're, going out of their way to piss off fans. Now we see Sting in the ring. Tony Schiavone going to take the mic from him and let him know Tony Khan's not here to give you his gift, basically, but I am. And you know what your gift is? It's Ric Flair. It's Ric Flair. Ric Flair, the greatest wrestler of all time, according to guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan, if you've ever heard of them. It's Ric Flair. And he's there for Sting. So, Jay, real quick, what was your initial reaction when you when you heard Ric Flair's music?
I was like, holy crap, Ric Flair is in AEW. I can't believe it. I guess this guy has a lot of debt issues that he needs to pay, and this is why he's doing this. Oh, it's not a one night, Savage. It's till the end of the road.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Savage, because not only Tony Schiavone was horrible here once again, but I will say this, Savage.
Christian Cage killed me.
People told me, before I get to Cage, people told me Sting is great. He's an icon. He's a legend. But Jay, he's not a good talker. Jay, you don't know. I'm telling you, you're wrong. He's great. I know he's great on the mic. You're wrong, Jay. And you know what, Savage? I actually believe those people. He was really, really bad on the mic to the point that he was repeating his words in different ways. If anybody catch that tonight, I sure did. I think he needs to have less mic time. And Savage, it shows because you hear him later on tonight. But Christian Cage did kill it, and I loved every part of it.
Christian Cage absolutely murdered this entire segment. Probably the best mic work of the entire week in all of professional wrestling goes to Christian Cage. I think so. Absolutely murdered it. He slayed legends. He slayed Darby Allin. He slayed Ric Flair. I mean, he annihilated Ric Flair. Just annihilated Sting. Everything he said was like just good shit.
You'd be right.
It was good shit.
Because I didn't like LA Knights.
In regards to Sting, I don't mind anything Sting does at this point because I think he's earned the right to get a pass on anything. This is his last ride. Let him do it the way he wants. I was never the biggest Sting fan.
Bro, he was continuing from last week and saying more things. Like, bro, we got it the first time.
What are you gonna do?
Let's transition over here.
I think they're asking too much of him by getting on the mic too much.
Sounds like Jay White.
Probably. Maybe. But anyway, nonetheless, Ric Flair showing up does add shock value to this show because you did not expect this.
I did not expect that.
It was a great, genuine surprise that will have the world of professional wrestling buzzing for the next 24 to 72 hours. And on top of that, it's going to lead to what I said is going to happen. Flair's going to turn on Sting, Jay. Their last match will happen. I'm calling it now. 100,000%. Tony Khan has already booked it. They're already talking about it. They're already practicing for it. The retirement match of retirement matches. Sting couldn't fight Undertaker. Fine. Ric Flair's come on out of retirement for his other next retirement match against Sting's retirement match. Sting will go on to make Ric Flair tap out in dramatic fashion, with Ric Flair almost bleeding to death in the sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. And yes, it will be a sold-out crowd. It will be a sold-out show. You can add an extra 75 to 150,000 buys, 150,000 buys on the pay-per-view. Just know that it's coming. This match right here, Jay, it's happening.
No, I still got Sting versus Adam Cole.
No, it's happening, Jay. Deal with it.
I got Sting and Adam Cole.
Tony Khan is too predictable.
As much as I want to see Cage versus Adam Cole,
is too predictable. He gave it away tonight. He said he had a gift for Sting, and that gift is Ric Flair retirement match.
I got Adam Cole.
No way.
All right, we'll see.
I think they're going to fight, but it won't be the last match.
They're going to pull the trigger fast because it's his last match. Then we'll get the Cage.
Well, we still got some time. We got till February, March, I think, whatever. But Christian
we
Cage
got to early March. We don't have time. We need to start building now.
We got an interview with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho goes on to talk a lot of trash about Hobbs and how he might have to call one of his bigger, badder friends. Who is he talking about, Jay? I think he's talking about Ryback.
I hope that's not the case because that guy is a racist bastard and it's been proven through everybody, through critics. That's why he doesn't have a stupid little podcast no more. But different time, different day for that. I agree with you, Savage. I think it may be, unfortunately, but I'm going to tell you this. Was I a fan of this? Did we need a sit-down interview to be like, I got somebody bigger and badder? Is it really necessary? That's what I ask you, Savage. Is it really necessary?
Well, Travis makes a good point. He could be 100% right about Big Show.
Oh, God.
That would piss me off.
The guy that was giving tickets away from...
Yeah, that would piss me off, too. I'd rather see Big Show come back as Captain Insano and go on a championship tear.
He was giving buy one, get two free tickets. Buy one, get two free. It's usually buy one, get one. But if I won't get two, because there's nobody else.
Jay, I'm not going to disagree with you. This didn't need to be an interview. This could have been just like a quick segment in the back. This wasn't even really an interview. This was just Renee sitting down with Jericho. He went on a rant, and that was the end of it. Here are the elites. The elite making their way to the ring again with Hangman Adam Page, and they're going to have a match against the Hardy Boys and Brother Zay. Brother Zay got some good TV time tonight, and even some mic time to kind of put over the Hardy Boys. Okay, a good shot of the Hardy Boys who are still working. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, but there they are. And what do we see there? Is that Swerve on the screen? Where Swerve Strickland on the screen? Where? He's in Hangman Adam Page's house talking to his baby? Holy moly. Swerve Strickland, man, you're taking it to another level. Jay, what did you think about the match? And what did you think about Swerve Strickland going to Hangman Adam Page's house?
Well, 90% of the match was slow, was plotting, and you could thank the Hardy Boys for that. I've been saying the Hardy Boys need to get off TV. Hopefully people saw that match tonight and realized these guys cannot climb the ropes, these guys cannot run the ropes, and they cannot execute a nice twist and fade. And please don't tell me, oh, well, Brother Zay was going to jump on top of the guy. No, he just can't no more. So let's just give it up with the Hardys. Please let them live their lives in retirement. As for this, Savage, I did like this. I want to bring to the fact that 60% of matches is won by Swerve. So he should have the right. But I'll tell you this, Savage, if Hangnail Adam Page wins this rematch, that just tells me there's a lot of egos going on in that company.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Swerve's on too much of a run right now, but you never know. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's that face-off we have. You think this is going to be the retirement match?
I do.
They are planting the seeds for you to believe that. Yeah, you could be right.
Well, let's talk about how crappy Sting's mic skills were.
Well, real quick, let's tell people what was said. Sting basically told Edge to snap out of it, and he's got to start seeing things clearer because he's not paying attention to what's really going on, and he's telling him, take advantage of the opportunity right now. Snap out of it, man. They want him to beat up Christian.
And, I know Sting's a legend, but this was generally proof that he's not great at promos. He's not great on the mic. I mean, he's a legend and everything. I'm not crapping on the other part, but this was pretty bad. He was hesitating with his words, didn't know what to say. I think he just did that hit on Adam Copeland because he was like, hey, I don't even know what to say. Come on, you want to fight? Let's go. Let's do this. I wasn't a fan of this, Savage, I'm going to be honest.
I mean, this honestly kind of felt awkward to me. I think the best word I could use. It didn't seem like it was scripted well, if at all, and just kind of randomly thrown together. It could have been a much bigger, easier setup than this. I think I'm going to say less about it because we're going to get into the AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida defending against Ruby Soho. And Ruby Soho had a chance here. Of course, she tried to cheat with the spray paint. Mediocre match. Wasn't the greatest. The finish was okay because I like how Shida lands that katana, and she got the win, got the finish, but then Toni Storm would make her way to the ring, actually getting some TV time for once. Didn't go to commercial. There she is. But she wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't do anything. She would just stand there.
Best part of the match?
Probably. But I think that was the best part of the match. Hikaru Shida did play a good,
Savage, the only reason you call this mediocre is exactly what I've been saying all along. There is not one storyline for any woman on that roster to be built up to challenge Shida. They're just throwing us random people that we like because you may not like Ruby Soho, but I like Ruby Soho.
I love Ruby Soho.
I think she's worthy of a championship.
Ruby
but they keep doing this. They don't build it up. And when you don't build nothing up, this is what you get.
No, listen, I love Ruby Soho, man.
First half of that match was
the reason I'm saying the match was mediocre because they didn't get enough time to work.
That first half of that match was not interesting. It only got interesting when we saw Tyler the spray paint and all that.
Dude, it's a women's world championship match, and you're giving it 10 minutes. You're giving it 10 minutes. It's disrespectful.
Should have been less. Should have been 5. It should have been 5.
I don't even think they got 10. I think they got 8 minutes. And here we go, MJF again. MJF on the screen for over 35 minutes tonight. Samoa Joe basically letting him know he wants that World Heavyweight Championship match. And also he's basically offering his services, saying maybe Max needs a teammate, a partner. I like how this is continuing. This is another matchup that I want to see it again, but I don't know when. And I don't know if Joe's going to be the guy to take the title off MJF, Jay. Do you think Joe's got a chance to be that guy?
No, I really thought the guy was going to be Adam Cole until he decided he's a leaping frog and he could jump everywhere. But unfortunately, those plans got nixed, and now we're going to see MJF fighting random people. I don't like it, Savage. There's no storyline here. There's no build. You could be like, whoa, they're rematching because they fought at Wimbledon. It wasn't even a build to that match. So I'm uninterested, Savage. I really am. You got to put MJF with storylines that make sense. This doesn't make sense.
In one way it makes sense.
One
way that it makes sense is they're making him like old school Hulk Hogan. If you remember when Hulk Hogan was champion way back when, the whole company was after him. There wasn't one wrestler who didn't, when they had a chance to cut a promo, they all cut a promo on Hulk Hogan, even if it was guys that would never be in a match with Hulk Hogan, because they wanted to get noticed and they wanted to get a chance against Hulk Hogan. They built him as that guy that everybody wanted to take down. And they're kind of doing the same with MJF. So in that point, I kind of like what they're doing. I don't think Joe will be the guy.
I disagree.
Oh, that's because you didn't watch the goal.
You're talking about building someone when this person does not need to be built. It just needs a good storyline.
No, that's not true.
Listen,
MJF also needs to.
The only reason people are like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," because Jay White versus MJ is going to be a good match. I'm not saying anything about the match. I want everybody to notice it's only happening because he doesn't have his belt. That is the stupidest thing. They're fighting so he could get his belt back at the end of the match.
No, he's getting his belt back probably at Collision.
That's what's going to happen.
It's silly to me. I mean, Tony Khan should have done something about this a long time ago. If someone on the roster steals the title, storyline-wise, you should send your security guards to retrieve such title for your champion. But I guess that's not going to happen. Anyway, let's get to the main event, Jay. Orange Cassidy teaming up with the Rainmaker Okada to take on Claudio and Bryan Danielson. And this match was actually okay. It was okay is what I would say. I don't know if it was main event worthy. I thought we saw other matches that MJF match could have been the main event. It should have been the main event, or at least the Women's World Championship, to not disrespect it. But Okada trying to get into the ring, he finally does. Basically beats the crap out of Bryan. Bryan tries to make him tap out again. And then these two clowns have to hug in the middle of the ring in Philadelphia. And of course, Bryan Danielson's not going to let that shit fly. And this ended exactly like it should. Kick these idiots because they shouldn't be wasting their time hugging in the middle of a professional wrestling match. Now, at the end of the match, Bryan Danielson took a big shot from Okada, and in my opinion, sold the holy hell out of it and made everybody in the world of professional wrestling believe that he is injured. Well, at least the people that believe everything they read, even the reports online from various websites and yada, yada. I saw it. He's not hurt. He's just really good at his job. And if he is hurt, that'd be better. He's taken tougher and worse than that. I can assure you of that. Jay, your thoughts on that match? And do you think Bryan Danielson is injured?
I'm going to go to Bryan Danielson. Obviously, it was right there, folks. So I agree with you, Savage. I mean, there's no way Okada's going to taunt, especially, I didn't even know it was June yet, by the way. But there's no way Okada's going to taunt the top star of the company, Bryan Danielson, and just get away like that. To me, it was just too much overselling, Savage, if that makes sense. And when that happens, the crowd just started to get quiet. It started to die, and nobody could really know what to do. I think he just did it a tad too much, but hey, he sold it, right? As for the match, you and I got different tasting. I actually kind of like this match because I think this is the first match we actually saw Claudio Castagnoli do more than one European uppercut. He actually did wrestling moves in this match, so I was impressed with him. And Danielson and Okada was good. I mean, the parts they were in the ring were good. I could have used less of the chops and yes of the forearms, but what I saw, these guys could really make money if they would have booked them in Full Gear in a rematch.
What did you think about Dynamite overall? You think you get a thumbs up?
I'm just going to go right on the borderline, Savage.
I'm giving it a thumbs up because we got a really good promo from Christian. We got a great surprise from Ric Flair. We got a match out of the world champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Swerve doing dirty things. Some action, all around action, whatever. Some of the matches could have been better. I got to see Rob Van Dam do a Van Daminator. All in all, good night for me in the world of pro wrestling. AEW, get a thumbs up tonight. Good job, Tony Khan. Great job. Just let Tony get some more TV time and let her commercials play. But you know what time it is, Jay?
It's time for predictions.
Predictions,
breaking news.
What do you want to predict?
Is AEW going to stay alive within the next year or two?
All right. Is AEW going to stay alive in the next year or two? Your prediction?
The way they're going, Savage, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're going. Wait, let me scratch that. I think they will, but I won't think they will be a major player promotion. I think they will have trouble with NWA once they get that CBW deal. Once they get that deal, I think they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle with the ratings on Fridays because NWA will be on Friday. They're going to take Rampage.
They already said that NWA is going to be Friday night. When? What time?
They're planning. It's not set. It's just rumors that they want to do Friday nights because that will go up against Rampage and SmackDown. But they will go against Rampage, not SmackDown. Obviously, that makes more sense. Why? Because what? It's an hour show, right? Rampage?
Yeah.
There you go. 10 to 11, right?
Yeah.
There you go. It makes perfect sense.
Smart
move. Do it.
I think AEW will definitely
I'll pull the trigger. Wouldn't you watch it? Wouldn't you watch NWA over Rampage? With
if it's on Channel 11, I'm going to have to start watching it.
I would. I definitely would.
I will. But to answer your question, I think AEW will more than stay alive. They will thrive. The wrestling world is in good hands right now. There are a lot of fans. And whether the tickets sell at shows or not proves that Tony Khan doesn't care. They're still going to book shows because he has the money to do so. And for as long as he has the money to do so, AEW will continue to thrive. And that's going to be for a while. But now, Jay, let's get into some breaking news. And here we are with the breaking news. Scotty 2 Hotty confirms new gig as AEW producer. Jay, did you know that?
No, I did not.
Well, yeah, he's back there and he's doing some work. I wonder what of his is happening as a producer. What is he producing? I want to know. If anybody knows, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know if anybody knows what Scotty 2 Hotty is doing backstage at AEW. Chris Jericho says leaving WWE for AEW was the biggest risk of his life. Really? Chris Jericho? Rockstar Chris Jericho? Superstar? Legend?
They had no TV deal when they came out.
Guaranteed Hall of Famer? Yeah, but how is it a risk for a guy he's settled, he's set?
Yeah, but what if they never had a TV deal?
Is that really going to hurt his bank account?
To be on YouTube? That would hurt me. It would hurt my bank account.
You act like Jericho couldn't go back to WWE anytime he wanted to.
Yeah, but when they were pitching to Jericho, they were just making promises. Nothing was set in stone. There was no TNT deal set in stone when they came out.
Yeah, but he knew it was going to happen because it's him, it's Cody, it's Kenny. Come on, it's Chris Jericho. He's a name.
Four guys.
He's a star. Well, obviously, it was a risk that was worth it because how is it a risk though? Because Tony's still going to.
Was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? I guess when you make a bag of money.
He got paid. He got paid. But he also now desires to star in a Broadway movie.
Stop.
And as much as it pains me to say this, Jay, I can see Chris Jericho slaying a role on Broadway somewhere. You can't tell me you don't see it. I see it. I 100% could see it. And I would sell out too.
Savage, I seen this guy in B movies and I can't take him serious. What makes you think I could take it serious in a Broadway musical?
Kenny Omega joins Cody Rhodes in a Netflix movie called Captain Laserhawk as a Blood Dragon remix, whatever the hell that means.
It's gotta be a cartoon animated.
If anybody knows what's happening here, please let me know. I don't have the time to Google it, nor do I care to. Probably is a cartoon or an animated series or something.
It sounds like a cartoon.
And we have an unflattering photo here
peoples of thousands
that highlights the AEW Battle of the Belts disappointing attendance. And I wonder how Joe feels cutting a promo to like about 80 people in front of him.
You can't blame people. It's long, Savage. It's like from 7 to freaking 3 a.m.
No, first of all, this is collision. I don't
you're watching Rampage. You're watching Dynamite. You're watching.
Well, they tip. Listen,
you're watching.
I'll say this: AEW takes full advantage of the money they pay for that building, and that's why it kind of makes sense when you think about it, Jay. I don't think Tony cares that the building's empty because this guy's filming like 18 shows. He's filming like 18 different forms of content for TBS, for YouTube, for Twitter, for Ring of Honor. I mean, shit, man. Who knows what else is going on?
Savage, you're asking a lot for people on a Wednesday night to give up their life of what they do the next day to watch.
This is Collision. This
Dynamite.
Is Saturday night.
What is it? Dark? Dynamite?
This is Saturday.
Rampage,
Can you not hear me?
I get it, but
this is Saturday.
You're saying Saturday, but listen. Collision on Saturday. Then you want me to watch Battle of the Belts for another 2 hours?
I don't know who's in here watching. It says we got 8 people in here watching. Tony, if that's you and your goons, I might have to come see you at the ECW Arena this Saturday, and you ain't going to like what I have to say because I'm sick of your shit. You go and get all your goons in here. You're not the YouTube champ.
I got my goons.
You haven't been the YouTube champ since the day I joined YouTube as Wrestling with Savage.
That's messed up. Get everything out of your chest, Savage. Let him know. We got time.
John Moxley receives good news regarding his medical clearance on his concussion hiatus. Now, I wonder.
Back to more blood.
I wonder. What do you think the good news is, though? I heard he just got some good news. I don't know what the good news is. Is he coming back immediately? We have seen him on TV, but he hasn't wrestled. How soon do you think we see John Moxley compete, Jay?
Well, we just saw him tonight, and I think we'll see him a lot sooner, Savage. But let's face it, where can you put John Moxley? Will you put him with the House of Black? And if you do, you have to add Danielson.
Maybe you put him with Orange Cassidy, and he just ends Orange Cassidy's AEW run and sends his ass on vacation for a month.
Now here comes the dumbest of all dumbest right here.
Let's get a good look at this. Darby Allin makes a bold statement with a large face tattoo. Oh, boy.
What's wrong?
I'm not even going to mention anything. Nature of RVD's current deal with AEW has been unveiled. And basically, Jay, his deal is this. His deal is that he is per match booking.
And do you see why?
Well, why not? He likes it that way. He doesn't have to make any commitments. MJF has no intention of ever competing in the G1 Climax tournament, and I could have told you that. Why would he? And not AEW related, but WWE contracts are going to be handled differently after the TKO merger, and that's going to be interesting to see now that a lot of AEW guys are going to be coming over to WWE in the next 10 years, right? It's obvious. A lot of guys are going to come back from AEW to WWE and vice versa.
It's a pipeline. The old wrestlers go to AEW, the new ones go to WWE.
Well, I think what's going to happen is TKO is really going to be selective with their people that they do contracts with. And basically, what I'm saying is they're only going to contract superstars. They're not going to contract unknowns.
I think they're just going to contact the people that are worthy in AEW, like a Jay Cargill, like a Wardlow. Jay
Cargill's already there. They already locked her
and Wardlow would be next because
the next three big ones for WWE, in my opinion, will be.
Let me hear it
in no order.
Let me hear
MJF, Kenny Omega, and Will Ospreay. Those are the three I want in the WWE.
Kenny Omega's too loyal. He will never jump.
You're probably not wrong, man, but that's been your breaking news. You have been watching the AEW Weekly Update here with Savage and Jay. This Sunday, I'll be at Fade to Black. Make sure you're watching live on pay-per-view or come on down to Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. Sign up to the premier streaming network. You can watch Savage do interviews with the biggest stars in the world, including Matt Cardona, Casey Navarro. He'll be on the show eventually. He's one message away, Jay, anytime I want.
Kane, where the hell's your suit?
He didn't have his suit on.
Then big red machine.
Go over to Pro Wrestling Tees, pick yourself up a shirt from Wrestling with Savage or the Wrestling Universe store. A lot of signings going down at the Wrestling Universe from now till next year. It's the place to be to meet all the legends of the world. Bushwhacker Luke Brutus, Beefcake Bobby Fulton, Scotty Riggs, the Orient Express, Taryn Terrell. We have Velvet Sky. We have Kushida. We have Rika Tatsumi. We have Maximum Male Models in the house, Alberto Del Rio, and announced today, ECW Day, February 10th, Spike Dudley, Danny Doring and Roadkill.
Wow.
Just incredible.
Now that's cool.
And Chris Chetty will be at the Wrestling Universe.
I do know Roadkill, though.
That's an ECW original, but nonetheless, a lot of action going down at the Wrestling Universe. Jay, maybe I can get you out this weekend, either ECW Arena or Battlefield. I don't know. Make some time, goddammit. We got to chill. It's been a minute.
We all got to chill. The whole kingdom got to chill.
We got to set something up, absolutely. Anyway, you've been watching AEW. I'm sorry, we're over an hour, but who cares? It's my show, and I'll do whatever I want. Jay?
Yeah. Pleasure, man.
I'll see you, manana. Or next week? How do you see next week in Spanish?
I'm always available 24, man. Just
you ain't gonna tell me. 24/7. We're out of here. Later, guys.
Right, y'all.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.